Good evening, everyone. Okay, so we're back from executive session, so we're going to go right to city manager's report.
Thank you, Mayor. Up first, we're going to call up Chief Antista from Hackensack PD to give a short presentation on the citizen phone app that the police department has launched.
Mike?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Good evening, Mayor and Council, City Manager. I'm here tonight to briefly present on a new initiative that the HPD is undergoing with Citizen App. Citizen App is an application on your smartphone, and what this does is it provides public safety communication with the public. It's more of our digital footprint for what we have for the PD. What it is it's an app monitors public safety resources, including our CAD, radio transmissions, and videos and information submitted by the public, and it plots it on a map. And if you'd like, you can get push notifications. So to preface this, the public has had the ability to submit incidents and video on this application since 2017, regardless of our agency participation. So this is an app that's been in existence, and the public has been using it. And that's another reason why we decided to participate with this. So the app was reviewed and tailored specifically for our agency, and there's limited call data that's shared, which ensures control and relevance. Unlike full access to a CAD used by other agencies, we only share a limited set of call types. Believe it or not, 9 to be exact, with 2 that the police department actually posts on its own. And there's a 15-minute delay for the posts that are controlled by the CAD. I'll just go over very quickly what the posts are that will be on the app. Road closures, assisting motorists, disabled motor vehicles, fires, hazardous conditions, traffic hazards, traffic sign and signal malfunctions, wire down, pothole hazards, and also events that we can control. We can post events, community events, and also, very importantly, major emergencies that require evacuation, which is a very quick notification to the public. And that's one of the major reasons why we did it. So if there's a major emergency, we can push it out on this app as well as our social media. So why we're participating, it's real-time public safety and traffic info, very similar to Nixle. However, this is plotted on a map and you can receive push notifications. It enhances communication and transparency, and there's specific and manageable public posts similar to social media. And also very important, since the public has the ability to post videos, live videos, being a participant of this app allows us to curb any misinformation that's posted, to provide updates, to reduce any unnecessary panic amongst the public if there's a post that goes out. And once again, privacy-wise, Citizen App does not and has never they don't track our police vehicles or officer locations with GPS or AVL. So looking forward, it's improved community trust and engagement, enhanced ability to manage and clarify public info, and like I said, we're looking to evolve and grow our digital presence responsibly. Other agencies that participate, NYPD, Philadelphia PD, Newark PD, the New Jersey Department of Transportation, so you'll see updates for accidents that occur on Route 80, Route 17, they pop up on the map. And also Hoboken and Nassau County is going to be participating soon. So it's a new endeavor, and it's to spread good information, traffic information, and also major emergencies. I provided a advertisement that was given to us that we're collaborating with Citizen. Does anyone have any questions regarding it?
I'm just curious, is there any type of, because you're always going to have a prankster or something, if somebody calls in something that, isn't truthful or, the wrong information on purpose, is there any type of recourse on that against somebody?
Well, recourse is that we could investigate if there's a known false narrative that's spread,
Right.
meaning like there's a
Right.
false 911 emergency, which we would obviously know
Right.
because we monitored the app.
Is there a way to identify the person that's posting it?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I know that they have like a post name,
Right.
but Citizen app fully cooperates with police. It's law enforcement started it,
Okay,
and you know, I believe that they do share that information if need be.
okay,
And once again, this is to also curb any misinformation for people posting on their own, since they've always had the ability to. It's just like how someone would do a live post on YouTube where you'd be able to see it.
right.
Chief, you said there's a 15-minute delay. Like, is that for you to kind of weed out if there's any miscommunication? Like, do you approve it? Does the police department approve it before it's posted, or it's instantly?
It was a 15-minute delay based on communication with the rank and file.
Okay,
Just
okay.
for, I would say, near real-time
Okay.
information.
And is this purpose of this to eventually replace Nixle, or Nixle will still be?
I believe it won't replace, but
Okay.
it's just an addition to public safety sharing information.
Okay, thank you.
Mike, when folks log in or use this, are they restricted to just see things that happen in Hackensack? Because initially, when this was rolled out a couple of months ago, we had issues. Like, I got calls from people saying, what's going on in Hackensack? And these were events that weren't going on in Hackensack. It really didn't say that, so it looked like things were happening here that were happening in other towns.
I would say no. You could view the whole country on the map and be able
You know,
to
see,
zoom in.
that becomes an issue when folks think that this is just Hackensack, and then they start, you know, understanding that it's not. Is there any way, if they're outside of Hackensack, to denote that, so that they know this isn't Hackensack, you know, so they don't say, look what's going on, you know?
I believe since it's plotted on a map, they'll be able to see exactly
Or
where
they'd
it
have
is.
to- They'd have to look that way, yeah,
Correct.
yeah. I mean, they just see something happening, and then they think because we're telling them to use it, that it's happening in Hackensack.
I understand.
Chief, I think,
gotta be an
what she's
education
also
process.
asking too is there's a way to, if you are using the app, there's a way to, I guess, to participate in certain
Geofence locations.
geofence
Correct.
locations,
So
right?
that-
So you're not going to get an alert from, you know, Los Angeles or from another town unless you're signed up for that
Correct.
particularly,
You
right?
know, if you
Well, maybe that should be our
If you live in
instructions.
Hackensack, you might have the application set so that you might have a 1 mile radius from where you're currently using your application. Like you could have your location-based availability at all times or just when you open up the app. That's an option that any application has on a smartphone.
Well, when people are signing up, maybe for our citizens, we should give them some information as to how to do this, so that they're not seeing, and these weren't towns far, you know, this wasn't other states, this was towns in the local area, it just wasn't Hackensack.
Well, absolutely. We can tailor that information when we do more advertisements on our social media for the app.
Yeah, at least, just so folks, when you add it, they know what they're looking at, so, you know, and they know how to tailor it just to Hackensack if that's all they want to see.
Understood. We
Yeah,
could add those
yeah, I think we should need to figure that
instructions.
Good, all right.
Okay, thank you for your time.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Chief. Next is discussion regarding the 2025 road paving. I just want to get my list out here. As it stands right now, we have grant funding to do South Newman from Lodi Street to the dead end, DeWolf Place from Berry to East Passaic. These are Bergen County Community Development Block Grants. Grand Avenue pedestrian improvements from Popular and Fairmont. That's an NJDOT grant. Kennedy from Hudson to East Wesley. That's also an NJDOT grant. And then city-funded streets, as it stands right now, West Outlook, Byrne to the dead end, West Anderson from Byrne to Summit, and Davis from Main Street to the terminus at Coles Brook. Those are the streets that are scheduled right now for 2025. If there's any funding that's available afterwards, We have some contingency streets that we will do based on their conditions in ranking order for that.
Very good, thank you.
Next is the update on our veterans banners and our Hometown Heroes program, where Allison, my assistant, has been working on almost daily. We were able to finally get permission from PSC&G to use our poles, or their poles, we find out, on Main Street. The new ones that are up there, they denied us being able to use them at other locations within the city. Evidently, that is something that they are doing now, denying towns from putting stuff on their utility poles. So we were able to secure approval to do Main Street, to put these new veteran banners up that are going to look really nice. We've contracted with somebody to do them. We've started the application process where people can sign up to have their family member. I believe it's both active and if they have passed away. The only thing is they have to be from Hackensack. And we will post their picture, their service, and if they're involved in any wars. And that's going to be really nice. It's going to look good on Main Street.
Looking forward to that.
Yep. Last but not least is the presentation. I'll call up our city engineer, Chris Wheaton, for the combined sewer and construction projects update.
Before the veteran banners, can people sign up now? Or are we ready?
Tomorrow morning.
So starting tomorrow morning, and how do they do that?
Rec desk.
Go to rec desk? Okay, so let's make sure folks, maybe
There's a link
John
on the
announce it,
website.
announce it
There's gonna be a
later
link
too.
on the website.
At the regular meeting, John, so that
Yep.
people know how to sign up.
Yeah, we'll do it again.
Thank you, City Manager. Good evening, Mayor, Council, members of the public. Here to discuss our CSO and construction projects. Our major city projects overview includes the projects listed and the deadlines. There's been no major update to this schedule of late, except that for the West of Rail project, as our CFO discussed at the last meeting, we are breaking up West of Rail near the bottom of the list here into two projects to take advantage of the funding arrangements through the state revolving fund. Getting into our sewer separation projects, this is an overview of the projects that we have done and are striving to complete. We're currently in Anderson Street, or the Anderson drainage area shown in pink, and this project is in the final stages. We should be finishing up paving here and the concrete work within the next week and a half. And I just wanted to bring your attention to the West of Rail project. As I said, it's going to be done in two contracts. This is our first project that includes, all of our stormwater projects have included water quality provisions that treat the stormwater. But this would be the first project that includes green infrastructure to treat for water quality. And so there will be a total of 28 tree filters or tree pits in this project, and those will be placed as suitable at different locations throughout the project. And as I stated, we are just finishing up the Anderson drainage area project. We're currently still on Stanley Place, completing the sidewalks and curbs. We'll be moving to Clay Street next to finish the curbs and sidewalks there. And then we'll be proceeding to mill and pave the streets through next week. And again, we are getting ready to move into design for the East Kennedy Pump Station improvements. There will be 2 new large pumps and 2 small booster pumps installed at this facility to replace worn equipment. Another project in the city is our FEMA Green Street Flood Mitigation Project. And so there's a lot of colors on this, maybe not. But at the top, in green is the projects that the city is currently pursuing based on the state revolving fund and basically the water bank projects. Shown in red is the potential area that has been contemplated for the FEMA Green Street project. There are different stages in this area. The initial project area, which is a $40 million grant, is shown at the bottom right in red. And so that's the original Green Street project area. And that's where the initial funding will be spent, primarily on a large pump station along the river.
Chris, can you give us the cross streets there so people can put of the red area that you're
Sure.
talking about?
If we go back.
Yeah.
So we're coming along, so at the right extent there in red, that's where the pump station would be located along the river. And then coming back from there, we're crossing River Street all the way to the right, Frank. Yeah, so coming left from there, we're coming down East Kansas Street, and then proceeding to Green Street. Yeah, sorry, I can't quite make out all the streets, but I can get that information for you there.
Okay, I think we need to know that, so.
Sure.
Yeah, like, so if you're looking at East Kansas, so you're looking at, I mean, are we looking in the Lodi Street area? I mean.
Yes.
So you're
Yes.
looking Lodi Street,
Yeah, the limits go approximately from Essex at the top to the city limits at the bottom. So, and then Green Street is just about all the way to the left, and we're coming,
so are we going from Essex to what? How far are we going towards Teterboro? Or South Hackensack, I guess it's Teterboro there, right? Yeah. Is South Hackensack in that place or no?
we're not going to South Hackensack. I mean,
Doesn't
all
flood
the,
that much down there.
No, that's why I'm trying to,
Yeah.
it does
Right,
flood,
it's
it
all
does
within-
flood in the Teterboro section. They're right under 46 and 80 there, right?
we're not going that far south.
Okay.
Right. There certainly are needs.
So are we stopping like at Lodi Street? Like what's the end point? Do you
We are
know?
not stopping at Lodi Street. We go further south than Lodi Street.
Okay, so you get us the information for next time, how's that?
Sure. I'll
I'm
do
just
that for you.
curious, as you know, the issue we had over on Stanley Place to all those streets there, we were able to go underneath the tracks because the railroad track was acting as a dam, which it also does down on Lodi Street, by the railroad tracks before, in Green Street's right on basically the other side of the track. It parallels the track. Are we going under the track at all as part of this project?
We are
To
not going-
alleviate that water on the other side of the tracks?
We are not going, so that's shown in the left area that's a little bit, shown more lightly in this graphic at the
Right.
bottom left. So the railroad track is basically that red line between the two areas. So the right is Green Street, and Green Street runs right along the railroad track, right? So that's what
Right.
demarcates the limits of that drainage area. The South Newman area is to the west of that railroad track. And we did find in our television investigations a tie-in from that drainage area underneath the railroad tracks.
Okay.
And so it does actually contribute to the Green Street drainage area as well.
Okay.
As I say, that's not part of this project at the moment, but it's an area that we have discussed expanding to with FEMA. And if FEMA doesn't accept it as a grant program element, then we can fall back to the IBank and the state revolving.
Yeah,
fund.
because it makes sense if we did it successfully down the other end of town by Stanley Place and.
So this is east of the rail only?
This is east of the
Just
rail.
east of the rail.
Yeah.
That if it doesn't, say if it works on the Green Street side, but we still have flooding on the other side of the tracks, we're gonna have to figure a way to
Yeah.
get that to the other, pipe down and get into the outfall by the river somehow.
Yes, and so the reason the other side, the west of the tracks in red there, the South Newman area, the reason it's truncated where it is because that's the area that actually flows north and into the city system.
Right.
The other stormwater below that or south of that continues south into South Hackensack and the Teterboro area
Got it.
underneath Route 80 there. There are constraints. We've discussed that. We've had meetings with the county on a
Right.
couple of occasions. We've walked the site with them and have talked about their ability to assist in a regional project there because the city of Hackensack is restricted by the downstream water elevations that are present in Teterboro and South Hackensack. And so
Right.
we need a cooperative local solution.
Well,
Okay.
other towns south of us have received funds, and they're working in this similar area with the similar
That's right.
brook problems, correct?
That's correct.
So we should be
They-
working in concert with them.
We have tried, from my start with Hackensack, one of the first things that was on the agenda was a meeting with South Hackensack to talk about, so those communities south of us have benefited from the Meadowlands Rebuild by Design project, post-Sandy. So they were awarded design funding and then proceeded to get funding for the projects that were identified in that rebuild by design. I'm not sure why, but Hackensack was not included in that rebuild by design project.
I think we just
at
have
the
to be
time.
careful that we don't spend all this money to help alleviate our water, and now we're gonna be getting all their water.
Right.
Because
I
now,
understand.
if they don't do their side, then their water's gonna flow into the side that we
Yeah,
just
their
cleaned
water-
up. So there has to be some kind of I think we just need, maybe for next time, some more information on this.
Sure.
Like what the limits are and exactly where we're focusing, and let's see what else the connectivity is, so we make sure we've covered our bases.
Sure, yes. We have had, and again, for the modeling that we've done here, we've done a lot of hydraulic modeling to support the FEMA funding was necessary to prove. And so as part of that modeling, we did have a significant communication with the Rebuild by Design group at DEP, as well as their consultants, and so we're able to share some information back and forth to get their results. So we do have some understanding of what they've done and what the implications are.
Vinnie, maybe we want to make that a separate cow item soon, that maybe I think for everybody on the council to hear and the public a little bit more, we're going forward, spending a lot of money in this area, and let's make sure that everybody has asked the right questions and we know where we are with this before we do.
Okay.
Okay, next slide, please. And so just sticking with the Green Street project for the moment, I wanted to share with you the results of the pipe inspection program that was performed as part of the pre-planning and necessary steps to determine the exact lay of the land in terms of where the pipes flow and what is their condition and what needs to be done to move forward with this project. So the pipes are rated from 1 through 5, with 1 being best and 5 being most severe. The good news is that we have about 62% of our pipes are in good and excellent condition, but we do have a number of pipes that are in a very poor condition, and some of those will be the focus of the FEMA project. The others will have to be addressed as part of a capital improvement program. They may be, kind of outliers to the essential, large elements, the kind of the backbone infrastructure that the FEMA project will accomplish. And just a little bit about the process, although I know this is a lot, but we have gotten really all through all of the green boxes, the dark green boxes, I should say, and with the planning and design that we've done so far, and submitted to FEMA. We have, as we've discussed, been eligible now to start the Phase 1 reimbursement. So those bills have been submitted and for payment. And the next step here is this upcoming proposal for the remainder of the detailed design and the DEP permitting. And we have been making progress also, as indicated on the upper right, with property assistance, and that's really just for the pump station by the river. Okay, moving on to parks. So Polyfly Park Drainage Project is all but wrapped up. We just have, all the drainage work has been completed. We've crossed the street. Everything's paved and concreted, so we just have site restoration here that needs to be done. And then we'll be out of here. In Johnson Park, we have, as you know, just awarded the 2 bids for this project. On the left is the site and utility contract, and then on the right is the field house contract for the structure that will be built. And again, for Fashini Park, we have bid this project, and we're just holding off on the award until we hear about the city's supplemental funding request from Green Acres. And then this project is scheduled to start in early July after the city's normal fireworks celebration. In roads and traffic, again, we are getting ready to initiate the Lot A parking improvements. This project was awarded last meeting as well. And so we are just, getting started with that contractor. I don't have a firm schedule for this project just yet. And then on Kaplan Ave, with the traffic study we did have for speeding, we did have a site meeting with the contractor as far as positioning of the speed bumps or speed humps goes, and did work out the final locations for the speed humps. There is one now between Polyfly and Parkway, and then another one between Parkway and South Prospect, or there's actually 2 between Parkway and South Prospect, and then another just to the west of South Prospect.
So we were able to do them on the hill then?
There, we'll see how it works out real time, but yes, that's what was determined.
Well, that's where they
in-
fly the most, so that's where the speeders are coming up the hill. I mean, they make the left off of.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is certainly grade dependent, as we've discussed,
Yep.
dependent on the slope. So, yes, with the site visit, we were able to find a part that, that was adequate to
Is
place.
gonna be any signage for the speed
Oh,
bumps?
yeah, no, there has to be.
Has to be.
Has to be
Yes.
warnings, yeah.
Yep. And then also, this project includes a no left turn, which I understand has been approved by the county from Polyfly onto Kaplan. And as city manager just discussed, we have our anticipated streets for the 2025 paving program. And we'll get started as long as that list is now final. And with that, I'll open up to any questions.
Chris, do we have an estimated date of when we'll get a response about the supplemental funding for Fashini?
In years past, we have gotten it in May.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. So we're gonna wait to approve the bids?
Yes, we have
Until-
a mutual agreement with the low bidder to
Okay.
extend the period,
Okay.
notice to proceed. Yeah.
Thank you.
So what approval did we have to go through to get the no left turn? Was that?
County, we gotta go through the county.
So I would recommend also doing Parker, because what's gonna happen is, once people learn you can't make a left on Kaplan, they're gonna make that left on Parker, and there's a school on the corner there, when you get up to
Yep.
Longview. So we don't wanna be diverting, we actually, by making a no left turn at Kaplan, we're kind of diverting based on what they're going to do most likely, more traffic towards the school. And, you know, and these cars are speeding in the morning. These are probably, most likely, you know, people going to work in the local area and trying to take that shortcut and beat the light at Essex Street.
Yeah.
So I think if we made it two back, I think that might be enough to deter them. But, yeah, we got to keep them from using our local neighborhoods as through traffic. It's, you know, it's not right. It's dangerous. We've had multiple incidents where, you know, cars are hit, and it's just a matter of time before a pedestrian gets hit. So, absolutely, I would look into changing Parker.
And if the speed humps work, maybe we'll put them elsewhere in the city. We know we have some speeding issues
Mm-hmm.
elsewhere throughout the city.
Fairmount
Jackson Ave now, some serious speeding.
and Jackson Ave, very narrow too, so,
Yeah,
Ross, Clinton.
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Even Summit,
Yep.
Well, there's
Anderson.
the northern part.
There was another accident on Prospect in Clinton. There's been a lot of accidents there. Because
Yeah.
Prospect is more over that hill. I can't see.
Yeah, the speeding lately has been
But
really,
the speeding
really
is all
bad.
over the place. And
No, it's
we-
not just here, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
And we say 25 and nobody's enforcing. So,
All right, thanks, Chris, appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Thank you.
That's all I have, Mayor.
All right, thank you. Need a motion to open to the public?
Offer.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed. Anybody from the public, please come forward, give your name to the clerk, and you will have 3 minutes.
There you go.
How you doing?
Good evening.
My name's Dave Sherman. I live at 238 Euclid Ave, which is right on the corner of Euclid and Prospect. And I can't believe the beautiful segue you just gave me regarding what's going on Prospect. I was in an accident in November at the four-way stop sign at Anderson and Prospect. Somebody blew the stop sign. I had shoulder surgery, totaled my car. I live at the corner of Prospect and Euclid. In the past month, 2 accidents on that corner. No injuries, thank God. The last one had a child in the back seat. There was an accident at Prospect and Clinton maybe a month and a half ago, and I'm proposing those red blinking lights around the stop signs at the 4-ways and at the 2-ways so people can't miss them. And it's really dangerous, and I hope that you review the records and see what goes on Prospect, how many accidents there have been because of those stop signs. So I thank you for your time. Any questions for me?
So as you know, we just made a 4-way stop also on Clarendon and Anderson, because same thing, accidents and, you know, near
It was a
misses.
4-way stop that she ran where she
Yes,
hit me.
Yep. Well, we had the king of all 4-way stops on Prospect and Beach, which averaged like 20 accidents a year. But we actually had to put a traffic signal in there, it was so bad. But I agree 100% with the blinking stop signs. I think they help tremendously.
Especially with all the traffic
Yep.
going up to the
Yep.
University Medical Center.
Yep.
It just makes nothing but sense, and I'm still in physical therapy for my shoulder.
I'm sorry to hear that.
So,
Yep.
you know, I'm begging you to try to help things out here.
So we'll see if we can, is there any grant money available for these signs? Because it definitely,
I'll figure it out.
so going eastbound on the Anderson, at the new Clarendon intersection we created there with the 4-way stop sign. The one when you're going eastbound is, as soon as the trees bloom, you're not even gonna see that stop sign, so we definitely need to light that up somehow.
And I,
And that's at Anderson and Clarendon?
Anderson and Clarendon, and these intersections, we'll look at these intersections that Mr. Sherman's talking about, Prospect and Euclid, Prospect and Clinton.
Prospect between Lookout and Clinton is that hill, and what happens are people.
Well, it
yeah.
starts
Right.
at Euclid,
And they
is the
come-
bottom of the hill.
Right, and then they come zooming down, and you don't, and
So
people
you've
that are
got
coming out of it,
Euclid,
yep, and it's
Clinton,
just hitting all
Lookout,
those.
Anderson is the four-way.
Yeah.
And then you get to the traffic light.
Yeah.
So it's really dangerous.
I think it's even coming the other way, from the traffic light, they come down.
Yeah, I don't know,
Yeah.
you know, when I hear it, I
Yeah.
walk outside and there's smashed up cars
Yeah.
or a
Yeah.
car through
There
a
was one
fence.
last week. when-
But overall, a lot of it's attributed, Mr. Sherman, I think people just, there's a lot more speeding going
Yeah,
on.
it's terrible.
I don't know whether it's the cars, whether it's the age of the people driving them. You know, when you're younger, you tend to drive a little faster, I think. I don't know.
Well, if we bring attention to the stop sign with
Yeah,
a blinking
definitely-
light,
definitely helps.
that could hopefully
Blinking lights. Yep,
solve a problem.
absolutely. We just put new lights on Prospect down by the hospital because of pedestrian signs, pedestrian
that.
crosswalks to
Yes.
try and help some of that down there. But we're working on it. It takes a little time, but we're getting there. We're working on the Kaplan issue for the last 6 months, so
Okay,
you'll
thank
see
you.
some improvement, I guarantee it.
Feel better soon, sir.
Yes. Next person from the public, please. You're up.
Yeah, everybody's speaking.
Good evening. My name is Mike Massoni, Massoni, and I live at the Sherbrooke 125 Prospect, Hackensack. And the gentleman before me, that's a very good point, and it kind of segues into what I'd like to. And by the way, Mr. Mayor and Hackensack Council members, good evening.
Good evening.
So, this is my first city council meeting I've ever gone to. However, for over the last year plus, I have been attending zoning board meetings, basically with the city, but also with the county. And our main concern for the many residents in the area I live in, which is, as you know, Prospect and Beach, is the proposed project at 329 Prospect of the 19-story assisted living facility on that rather small piece of property that runs between, pardon me, that runs between Prospect and Summit. So, without getting into a whole lot of stuff, I guess my main question here is, how does the council feel about this proposed project? In other words, would you be in favor or not of it?
So, I'm sorry, what was your name again?
Mike, and the last
Mike
name is
Massoni. So,
Massoni,
Mr. Massoni,
M-A-S.
and I'm going to defer to our attorney because we are forbidden to even speak to it.
You're forbidden, okay.
It's a quasi-judicial issue that's zoning. We can speak to planning board issues. As a matter of fact, two of us serve on the planning board. We're not allowed to serve on zoning, nor are we allowed to comment on anything that comes through zoning.
I see.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yep.
and you know, just to comment on that, you know, there have been circumstances where a governing body may very well wish to speak out on a project, and if they do, people are watching. This is being recorded, and it can be used by whichever party feels that the council has weighed in improperly to support any sort of legal challenge.
I
So
see.
obviously, if you have concerns, you wouldn't want them to speak out in a way that might have a project be approved when it might not otherwise be because they spoke out when they shouldn't have. So
Got it.
please understand that.
I do understand, and I know people are always watching.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Massoni. Next person from the public, please.
Good evening, Marty Smith, Prospect Avenue. I'm wondering if Mr. Caruso could provide us at the next meeting, as we asked for at the last council meeting, of the parameters that were used by the Hackensack Traffic Department in their decision-making not to lower the speed limit on Summit Avenue. The second item pertains to Anderson Street. At the last council meeting, we mentioned that Anderson Street, similar to Main Street, is a commercial street, and that Main Street, for its entire length, has multiple no U-turn signs at every block north and southbound, whereas Anderson Street does not have any U-turn signs. Well, we were in error because there is a no U-turn sign on Anderson Street at Panborn or Panhorn for westbound traffic, but no U-turn signs corresponding for eastbound traffic. So we're recommending that since this is a commercial street, that the city install several no U-turn signs for eastbound traffic, starting at the railroad crossing and going through to Union Street.
Okay?
Those locations again one more time?
Okay?
So it's
The
between-
last,
Go ahead,
sorry.
go ahead.
The last item I have is that recently the governor came out with a comprehensive plan to reduce accidents in the state of New Jersey, specifically earmarking pedestrian accidents and bicycle accidents. Now, I think about a year or a year and a half ago, we asked the city to enact a traffic ordinance that would make it a traffic violation for a pedestrian to talk or text on a cell phone while crossing a street. I don't think the city took any action on that, but I can tell you from the readings I have done that there have been dozens and dozens and dozens of cities and towns throughout the country that have already implemented this type of plan and have seen tremendous reductions in the number of accidents involving pedestrians and bicycle riders. So we hope you'll consider doing this to make our streets safer. I can tell you that pedestrians frequently are distracted in their crossing by using their cell phones on a daily basis. Thank you.
Agree 100% with that last comment.
Mr. Smith, if you could just give me those streets again, or the locations for the U-turn signs that you were talking about?
Yes, Anderson Street has one no U-turn sign on Anderson and Panghorn for westbound traffic. That's the only no U-turn sign on Anderson Street from Main Street to the railroad tracks.
So from Linden all the way to Panghorn. Or to Union
On Anderson.
on Anderson. It's the commercial area there.
Thank you.
Thank you, Marty.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next person, please. Good evening, ma'am.
Vicki Bellis, and I live on Anderson Street. And I just want to thank you for the four-way stop sign at Clarendon. That was long overdue, but it's great because people use Anderson Street as a cutoff for Passaic since there's no lights, and it just slows them down. Even if they roll through the stop sign, they still slow down. And then I also want to make a comment. You mentioned speed humps. I work in an attorney's office, and he represents the township of Saddlebrook. And there was one gentleman who sued the township because he said that the speed hump that was put in front of his house affected his foundation and his walls. They eventually removed the speed hump. But, you know, I don't know if that was true, that it was really affecting it. He had pictures, and but he said when the, you know, buses and whatever, the trucks slow down to go over the speed hump, it caused a vibration in his house. So I don't know if that would be something you would want to check out before you.
That's
put-
why this is like a pilot program we're doing with this one on, or two on Kaplan.
Mm-hmm.
And we want to see how it works.
Right,
But,
right, because he
it's
did,
like
I
a-
mean, he
It's like
ended
a
up.
balancing act, you know, either, you know, speeding cars or, you know,
Yeah.
some other kind of pain. But,
Right.
yeah, I understand what you're saying.
He did lose, he lost,
Yeah.
but, you know, he did have pictures, and he showed cracks, and he
Yep.
said the vibration of the vehicles slowing down, which probably was true,
Right,
but he couldn't prove it, so he lost.
all right.
But thank you for the stop sign. I had asked for that years and years and years ago, and then they had put one up, and then they took it down. and
Years
then
ago,
there was
a reason for that, because
They told me it was not a legal stop sign.
it's got to be what they call, you have to put in a warrant to get it done.
Uh-huh.
In other words, it has to qualify with the state in order to get a four-way stop. In other
Oh,
words, you have to have a
alright.
certain amount of accidents or something
Yeah.
like that.
Well, there
and
was just
prove to 'em.
recently an accident at that corner, and
I
then
know,
they put
I
the
know.
stop sign.
And
Yeah.
that, since then has changed. That warrant law no longer stands, so we were able to put it back.
Yeah, but it's a blessing, because I live on that street, and when you're trying to pull in and out or park on the street, and the cars go,
Yeah.
they're going way more than 25.
Yep.
But it's a, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, thanks for coming.
Rich Sorbo. I think we forgot about Spring Valley Avenue, so I just took that as a cue to come up here and bring it up again. It's absolutely outrageous, and yes, I'm sorry. There will be damage to homes, foundations, and I'm going to prove it too. So somebody's going to pay for it too. There's so many heavy trucks. I'm talking about really seriously. I mean, there's trucks that you've never seen that size. Buses are speeding. It's Spring Valley Avenue. You just forget it. You've talked about 5 other streets here tonight. You never want to follow up on what we've talked about for years now. We've been talking about this for years, and you got to stop something there. The
Well,
speeding.
there is,
The buses
Go ahead,
are
Rich.
speeding, and they're empty, okay? It's like the Twilight Zone, okay? A speeding bus will go flying by, I mean, really fast, and you look, it's empty. Any time of the day. It's not like, oh, they're just gonna pick up passengers somewhere else. No way, okay? It's crazy what's going on. They're paying for that whole fleet of buses all over the state. Many of them are empty. No one cares. And we're going to get to the bottom of this somehow. It's money being spent for no reason. It's going on everywhere. That's why last week I mentioned the audit, which I don't know. There's an audit by a company that you referred to, right? It's not by anyone that's non-partial, is it? I mean, we got to find the bottom of what the hell is going on, okay? Spending for government services that we're not getting somehow, and it's just, well, that's one thing. And that sparked me, the lady that was just here about the foundations of these homes. My house shakes. The glasses on the shelf shake all freaking day from buses and trucks, okay? They jingle all day. What is this? Okay. If you're taking a nap, you're awakened by those glasses. Thank you.
thank you. So there is a 4-ton limit on that street, so it's about some enforcement there. What?
The sign
Yeah.
is still up.
And while you're, Mr. Sarbo, would you please come back up? Because I wanted to make a quick mention while you're here for this session.
Yeah, go ahead.
We understand it was, your father served as mayor of this great city.
Correct. Yesterday was his birthday.
Yesterday was his 100th birthday.
He would have
So
been
we just
100.
wanted to wish your dad a happy birthday in heaven.
Thank you
and,
very
God
much.
bless him.
God bless
He
you.
was a letter
Thank you.
carrier, just like my wife.
He was everybody.
Yep.
He was everything.
Yes, he was. He was a good
You know,
man.
there's a loaf of bread I buy now. I forget the name of the company, and it's called an everything bread.
Yep.
My father was an everything guy, all right?
He was a great
deal.
man.
Next person from the public. Oh,
All it is.
really not allowed to come back a second time.
I heard that, but I'll push my luck. I just was listening to all of this talk, and it made me think of something else again, too. Are all those vehicles that you see flying around, the electric scooters, the electric bikes, with, I call them kids, I don't know how old they are, but I'm pretty sure they're kids without helmets or anything, and they're going a good, I'm just going to guess and say 15 miles an hour in regular traffic, and I see them sailing through lights and everything, and I'm just curious as to how are they regulated?
They do have, there are traffic laws for bicycles and scooters and skateboards and anything with wheels that you ride.
Electric ones.
Whether it's electric or not, I
I see.
believe. If you were pedaling a bike or driving an electric bike, I think it would be the same rules. They're not allowed on sidewalks, they're not allowed in certain areas. it's a matter of enforcement, and there's so many of them around, it's very hard to enforce
Yeah.
sometimes, so.
And they're
that's
not
our
wearing
biggest issue.
helmets, these kids.
And they're supposed to wear a helmet, absolutely.
Yeah, okay, just wanted to bring it to your attention. Thank you.
Yep.
Hello, my name's Dennis Colbert. I've been a resident from Hackensack for almost 17 years. I lost my father not too long ago because of a car accident. Okay? And the reason why I'm basically bringing this up is the town of Hackensack is doing a lot of construction and they're not caring what happens to these people that are on bikes, especially kids. I am. These kids are getting hit or they're getting pushed out of the street. They're being harassed, not by Hackensack police, but Maywood police, to get on the sidewalk, and there is no sidewalks in certain spots. And the people, including me and my wife, were hit by a car with no headlights on at night. And we sued not the city of Hackensack, but we sued the car that did it for $90 million. And he was a blood lab technician. We don't need this out here no more. We want kids and people that have scooters with the same thing they have in New York, where they could ride the bikes safely. If they're going to build these condos, we would like to see that. Where these bikes, whatever things they use, can be safely ridden. If they can do it in New York, why can't they do it here? Because I got hit, my wife got hit. Now she's in a nursing home because she can't walk. And she's been in a wheelchair for almost 15 years. She's the one that forced the city of Hackensack, the city of Maywood, to put those little red things in the sidewalk. Because we rode in the middle of the street with the wheelchair until the cops pulled us over and said, hey, get on the sidewalk. We did not do that. And now you see those little red things everywhere. Now let's do it so these bikes and these motorized bikes have a safe place to ride them. Because I am not watching no more kids get hit, especially us, with cars that don't turn their headlights on. And I'm out there every day like the cops are, watching every little thing. We need to stop.
Thank you, Mr. Colbert.
Thank you.
So we are in the middle of working to get a grant to do a study on bicycle lanes in Hackensack. One of the biggest issues we have is, of course, Main Street, where we have a lot of bicycles on the sidewalk, where there's tons of pedestrians, so they're not allowed to be on the sidewalks, but it's not wide enough of a street to accommodate a bike lane, so we're looking at State Street and other streets. The bicycle thing, I understand what you're saying, Mr. Colbert, but it's a two-way street. I've seen good behavior and bad behavior by bicycle riders, just like with pedestrians and cars. There's good and bad in all of them. So it's, I've seen bicycles actually cause some serious accidents too. So it's really about being safe in anything you do, whether you're driving a car, whether you're walking, or whether you're driving a bicycle or a scooter or electric bike, whatever. It's about operating yourself and your whatever vehicle you're using safely. And with that, next person. Seeing no one from the public, motion to close.
Offer.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, none opposed. So we will be back in about 5 minutes. Good timing.
Mayor?
Yes.
You have to close
Motion to close the
Well,
executive
before the
session?
executive session, you have
Yeah.
Steve.
Let Steve speak. Steve?
Yes, in our closed executive session, as usual, we talked about ongoing litigation, specifically including the J Visual case and a recent Civil Service Commission decision of the Office of Administrative Law involving Police Captain DeWitt upholding disciplinary charges against him and a 10-day suspension.
Now you can do a motion.
What other two cases?
Motion to close the executive session, offer.
Hold up, there might be, you're saying there's other cases?
No, the cases that were dismissed by the judge.
He just said that.
Yes.
He just said it. I offered.
You offered? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, none opposed.
Now you need to
Close the
close the
cow.
cow.
Motion to close council of the whole.
Offer.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, none opposed. Be back at 8 o'clock. Ally? Thank you. We're going to start.
This meeting is being held in accordance with the Open Public Meeting Act, NJSA 10:4-6, at SEC, notice of which was sent to the record in the Star Ledger and was posted on the municipal bulletin board.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Von Rudenberg.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Here.
Councilmember Pataglia. Councilmember Carroll.
Here.
Mayor LaBrus.
Here. Would everybody please rise for the flag salute? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you for that. And, we have a good night tonight. I don't think I need a microphone. Can you folks hear me? Yes. All right, I'm not gonna use the mic. All right, so special night for me tonight. Who are we doing first, by the way?
Whoever you want, whatever you want to do. I guess maybe the kids first?
Yeah, we're gonna do the kids first. So, as a lot of you know, I coached wrestling in town for years and years and years, and the trustee of Hackensack Junior Wrestling. And, as you know, our councilwoman Stephanie Von Rudenberg is very involved with our program, and, it's been a great program for years. I personally think it's one of the best run programs in the county, if not the whole state of New Jersey. We have some, great kids. We've had great history, and some great guys have run the program through the years, and that continues on. So we have three young wrestlers we're celebrating tonight. Two of them are girls, all right? And just for the record, girls wrestling is the fastest growing sport right now in the United States, and it's incredible how good they are, and takes a lot of hard work. Anybody who wrestles knows that. So first I'm going to call up. What do I have here? Looking for the name, I can't even find it.
Last paragraph. Third line from the bottom.
All the way to the bottom.
Third line from the bottom.
Luna Vizcaino, please come forward. How are you, young lady? Don't be shy. Pretend you're on the mat. You'll be fine. Congratulations. Great job. So it reads, whereas the 2025 scholastic season came to an end on Sunday, March 17th, 2025, as the best New Jersey youth wrestlers gave their best in pursuit of the medal in Trenton in the USAW-New Jersey Scholastic State Championships. Whereas USAW-New Jersey conducted the final regional qualifier on Sunday, March 9th, 2025 in Fairlawn, New Jersey. Boys qualifying tournaments were held in 9 sites, spread throughout the state, starting with Toms River, East High School, and ending with Fairlawn High School. And whereas this year there was also a record 6 girl qualifying tournaments, one more than last year, in an effort to attract more competition, opportunities, and attract more participation. Now therefore, I, John P. LaBrus Jr., Mayor of the City of Hackensack, along with members of the City Council, do hereby congratulate Luna Vizcaino, 2-time state placeholder representing the City of Hackensack by placing at the USA Wrestling State of New Jersey Championships. Congratulations, young lady.
John,
Yes. Yes, yes. Mr. Battaglia brings up a great point. The new indoor sports facility that we're building down at Johnson Park is going to have a whole section just for wrestling. So you'll have, yes, I see Coach back there going, yay. It's been a long time coming, Coach. Though the high school isn't too bad right now, I remember when it flooded and we used to have to, like, the mats were soaking wet back then. But, yeah, it's going to be a nice wrestling gym in there. So next up, could I have Roman Diab come up, please? Let me say you weigh about 80 pounds? No, more? Less? How much more? How much? 98. 98, okay, I was way off.
So it reads, whereas the 2025 scholastic season came to an end on Sunday, March 17th, 2025, as the best New Jersey youth wrestlers gave their best in pursuit of the medal in Trenton in the USAW-NJ Scholastic State Championships. And whereas USAW-New Jersey conducted the final regional qualifier on Sunday, March 9th, 2025 in Fairlawn, New Jersey. Boys qualifying tournaments were held in 9 sites spread throughout the state, starting with Toms River, East High School, and ending with Fairlawn High School. Whereas this year, we're also a record 6 girl qualifying tournaments, one more than last year, in an effort to attract more competition opportunities and attract more participation. Now therefore, I, John P. LaBrosse Jr., Mayor of the City of Hackensack, along with members of the City Council, do hereby congratulate Roman Diab, 3-time state placeholder, representing the City of Hackensack by placing at the USA Wrestling State of New Jersey Championships. Congratulations, Roman.
Congratulations to you.
So I'd be remiss if I didn't mention my good buddy, Butch Potato, who ran the Hackensack Youth Program for a long, long time and coached me in for over 15 years. Both his sons were high school state champions. One time was a 3-time finalist, one son was a 3-time finalist, which doesn't happen too often. Great wrestlers. We also have Councilman Carroll's son, Jerry Carroll, who had the pleasure of coaching as a young boy, was an excellent wrestler, region medal winner, made it to New Jersey States. It's not easy to get there. Anybody who wrestles knows how hard it is. And it gets harder every year with all the club wrestlers out there. So could I please have, let's see, who's this next young lady? Gianna von Rudenborg?
How do you pronounce that?
And how are you, young lady? Congratulations. We go with that. Whereas the 2025 scholastic season came to an end, so I'm going to read where you read this already, so I get the good part. Is that okay? Okay. So now therefore, I, John P. LaBrosse Jr., Mayor of the City of Hackensack, along with the members of this City Council, do hereby congratulate Gianna von Rudenberg, 3-time state placeholder representing the City of Hackensack by placing at the USA Wrestling State of New Jersey Championships. Would you like to tell the people what place you took this year? 4th place in the state of New Jersey. Okay. Go see mommy.
Go this way, yeah.
Come this way.
Okay.
Oh, she's gonna do everything else.
Can we bring the other 2 up to get a picture?
Yes.
Luna and Roman, come on up. And Lucky. Here, can we get a picture? Right, this-
You want their mom and dads too? No? Just the kids?
Guys all come up for a picture.
All right. We'll all stand up. Come here in front of us, guys. Come here. Right here.
We'll go in the back.
You guys can take pictures.
All right. The parental paparazzi.
Coming. Just a moment.
Good
job.
Thanks, guys.
Congratulations.
So we have one more thing to celebrate tonight before we get on with new business. And as you all know, March was Women's History Month. And we had somebody here that we were going to celebrate, but she wasn't available. So she is here now. So with Stephanie von Rupert, please come down. So as you know, Stephanie's been on the council with us for quite a while. And it's amazing what she does, because to be a council person with the amount of time it takes and have 3 young children, takes a lot of dedication. Plus all the other stuff I'm going to read that she does while she does the stuff she does with us. So she's quite a busy young lady. And so whereas Stephanie von Rudberg graduated from Rutgers University, go RU, and continued to Seton Hall to receive her law degree, Stephanie also attended New Jersey City University and received a master's degree in special education, as well as an administrator certification. Whereas in 2011, Stephanie received the Bergen County Teacher of the Year Award. In 2023, Stephanie left the classroom to work in the private sector. And whereas Councilwoman Von Rudenborg previously served on the planning board before she was elected to the city council in 2017. And whereas Stephanie has worked tirelessly on the city's revitalization efforts and community improvements such as the establishment of the community garden, upgrades to Stein Park, ongoing improvements at Machini Park, also working as liaison to the Board of Education, Library Board, Recreation Board, and Access for All Board. And whereas Stephanie continually advocates and assists families that have children with different abilities, she has helped her oldest son Evan establish the Best Buddies Club in the middle school, which is a group focused on supporting students with differing abilities. And whereas Stephanie coaches Hackensack Recreation Softball for the past 3 years, and along with her husband and another family runs the Hackensack Junior Wrestling Program for the past 3 years. They have grown the program from just 40 wrestlers to over 85 wrestlers with over 10 female wrestlers. And with that, now therefore I, John P. LaBrosse Jr., Mayor of the City of Hackensack, along with the members of the City Council, do hereby recognize Councilwoman Stephanie Von Rudenberg during Women's History Month and for her dedicated service to the City of Hackensack. So congratulations. Would you like to say something?
Everyone knows I love speaking. I just want to thank everyone. It's been such an honor to serve for the past 8 years, serving alongside my council members, Deb, Allison, Vinny, Steve, my fellow council members and my board members. I've been on it. It's just been such an experience. I've learned so much. The biggest highlight is serving the citizens of Hackensack, getting to go out there and meet everyone and, learn why they love this city as much as I do and as much as my family does. It's just such an honor. I wouldn't trade the last 8 years for the world, but I am excited to be able to spend more time with my family. And thanks to my family, my kids, I've missed out on a lot of things with them because of serving. And thanks to my husband for picking up the slack and for my mom and mother-in-law for getting the kids everywhere they have to be because it's not easy. And I'm just so proud to see some of our wrestlers here. I have another softball player here, and that's what I really enjoy doing is coaching and being with the kids, and it's a really nice feeling. But I thank everyone at the city for supporting me, and I love serving here, and I'm going to miss it, but next chapter. So appreciate it so much.
Mayor, if I may, I have to tell the story about where and how the city was blessed to find Stephanie Von Rudenberg. Where else would you think that I, this the city manager, deputy mayor, listen to me, would be fortunate enough to find Stephanie at a wrestling match? All right, there was a wrestling match in Hackensack. My grandson was wrestling, and one of Stephanie's sons was wrestling. Gigi, you were a baby. You were a baby at that time. And even though my daughter always yelled at me, Mom, you're here to watch Joey, but I'm talking to everyone in the stands about getting involved in the city and handing out cards. And lo and behold, I get a phone call from Stephanie. Were you serious that you were looking for people to be involved in the city? And I said, absolutely. She came on the planning board with us because she was interested in real estate, and she was such a gem that we talked her into running for council with us and have been blessed to have her for the past 8 years. I call her my work daughter, sorry, real mom out there, because in many ways she became that, and we're going to miss you terribly, and you did a wonderful job for 8 years.
Thank you.
So I have a real cute story. Back in 2017, when Stephanie was running for the first time, and we're out campaigning, and it's raining. And here she comes with a stroller, with Gigi in that stroller, with a cover over it, going door to door in the pouring rain, right? That's how much she wanted to get on the city council. That's dedication when you think about it. And we're going to miss that. But you'll hear from this young lady again in the future because she's got that in her blood. She's a public servant, and whatever she does, you spend time with your family, that's the right thing to do. I understand that. But the day's going to come when you say, gee, I got some free time. I wonder what I can do. And she's going to be doing something out there. So pay attention, 10, 15 years from now, this lady's name will pop up again, I guarantee it. So kudos to you. Okay. Oh, yes, if you guys want to go, we're going to take a 5-minute recess so you can clear out. No reason to stay for the whole council meeting. I know you got kids that got to go to bed, I think.
Okay, right back to business. I need a motion to approve the minutes of the March 25th, 2025 Executive Cowan regular meeting.
Offer.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed. And with that, we go to the city manager's report.
Thank you, Mayor. The city's annual Easter egg hunt will be held on Tuesday, April 15th at Johnson Park. This is a free event. One-year-olds through pre-K begin at 4 p.m. and kindergarten through fourth grade start at 4:30 p.m. Summer camp registration opened April 1st. Camps include theater camp, playground camp, adventure camp, and extended day camp. Space is very limited, so be sure to register early. Baseball and softball opening day is scheduled for April 19th. Slam Dunk the Junk will be held April 26th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Organizations must be registered in advance. Information can be found on the city's website. The Veteran Banner registration will be available starting this week through the Rec Desk program. It is limited to the first 100 people initially. Banners will be hung on Main Street from Memorial Day through Veterans Day. New Jersey is requiring lead-safe inspections for rental units. Landlords with pre-1978 rental properties located in the city of Hackensack are required to have inspections completed by July 22nd. Landlords can use any company of their choosing as long as the compliance is obtained. Please reach out to the building department if you have any questions. And that's all I have, Mayor.
Okay, I just want to touch on the veterans banners real quick. I want to first thank Allison here, our deputy clerk, and executive secretary to the city manager for all the work she's done on this. But I don't know if you can see this from out here, but up and down Main Street, these banners are going to be on all those nice black light poles we put in. Up and down Main Street, families will be celebrating their veterans by buying they can buy the banner. The money goes towards paying for the banner. It'll have that person's name on it, what branch they served in, whether they were in war or not, their rank, and all the pertinent information. We already have how many, Allison?
Well, it's like 25 people so far.
So 25, so we're going to be able to accommodate close to 280?
And 20, no, it's 114, 228.
228 veterans in Hackensack will have available banners that they can get. A lot of other towns have done it. It's great to see. It's a great way to honor those who fought for this country. And looking forward to that on Main Street. It's going to be just another added benefit to our new Main Street. So thank you, Ally. And with that, we'll go into new business. Ready, Deb?
Yep.
Resolution 173-25.
This is a resolution for final adoption of ordinance number 14-2025, an ordinance to amend Chapter 107 of the Code of the City of Hackensack Licenses and Permits to update summer theater camp fee. The ordinance has been published according to law and now calls for a public hearing.
Okay, I need a motion to open to the public.
Offer.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Hearing none opposed. Anyone from the public who'd like to speak to this ordinance, and only this ordinance, please come forward. Seeing no members of the public, motion to close.
Offer.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed. I need a motion to adopt the ordinance.
Offer.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed.
Be resolved by the City Council of the City of Hackensack, County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, that ordinance number 14-2025 has passed its second and final reading and is hereby adopted.
Thank you. Resolution 174-25.
This is a resolution for final adoption of ordinance number 16-2025, an ordinance of the City of Hackensack authorizing the transfer of city-owned property identified as a portion of Block 312, Lot 21, on the city tax assessment map to the Hackensack Public Library pursuant to NJSA 40A:12-13B, Section 1. This
Okay.
ordinance has been published according to law and now calls for a public hearing.
Need a motion to open to the public.
Offer.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed. Anybody who'd like to speak to this ordinance and this ordinance only, please come forward. Seeing no members of the public, motion to close.
Offer.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed. Motion to adopt the ordinance.
Offer.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed.
Be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Hackensack, County of Bergen, and State of New Jersey, that ordinance number 16-2025 has passed its second and final reading and is hereby adopted.
Thank you. Resolution 175-25.
This is a resolution for the introduction of ordinance 17-2025, an ordinance to amend Chapter 170 of the Code of the City of Hackensack, parking, to update Section 49.2, parking for handicapped.
Need a motion to introduce the ordinance?
Offer.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed?
Be it resolved that the above ordinance, being ordinance 17-2025, as introduced, is now passed on first reading, and the said ordinance shall be considered for final passage at a meeting to be held on April 22nd, 2025, at 8:00 p.m., or as soon thereafter, as the matter can be reached at the regular meeting place of the City Council. And at such time and place, all persons interested be given an opportunity to be heard concerning said ordinance, and that the city clerk be and she is hereby authorized and directed to publish said ordinance according to law, with a notice of its introduction and passage on first reading, and of the time and place when and where said ordinance will be further considered for final passage.
Thank you. Resolution 176-25.
It's a resolution authorizing tax refunds for state board judgments.
Need a motion, please?
Offer.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed? Resolution 177-25.
It's a resolution authorizing approval of amendment to the 2025 temporary budget.
Need a motion, please?
Offer.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed? Resolution 178-25.
This is a resolution awarding bid contract for the firehouse engine number 2 improvements.
Need a motion, please?
Offer.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed? Resolution 179-25.
It's a resolution authorizing change order number 2 to HQW Architects LLC for architectural services related to Johnson Park Sports Facility Administration Building.
Need a motion, please?
Offer.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed? Resolution 180-25.
It's a resolution authorizing change order number 1, which is final, to Manor 2 Electric for East Kennedy Pump Station Emergency Generator Replacement.
Need a motion?
Offer.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed? Resolution 181-25.
It's a resolution authorizing the awarding of contract to Neglia Engineering for County Road ADA Ramp Compliance Project, Main Street and Johnson Avenue Construction Management.
Need a motion?
Offer.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed? 182-25.
This is a resolution authorizing the awarding of contract to Neglia Engineering for County Road ADA Ramp Compliance Project Contract 8 Design.
Need a motion, please?
Offer.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed? 183-25.
This is a resolution authorizing the awarding of state contracts for the purchase of the Motorola Command Central Aware Plus system for the police department.
Need a motion?
Offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Von Rudenberg. Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Councilmember Carroll.
Abstain.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Resolution 184-25.
This is a resolution repealing resolution number 319-22 that authorized the First Amendment to redevelopment agreement with 307 Main MF-Q Urban Renewal LLC and rescinding First Amendment to redevelopment agreement with 307 Main MF-Q Urban Renewal LLC within the 321 Main Street redevelopment plan area.
Need a motion?
Offer.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed? Resolution 185-25.
It's a resolution authorizing accrued time payout of $186,827.99 to retired Fire Deputy Chief John Taylor.
Need a motion, please?
Offer.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed? And Resolution 186-25.
This is a resolution authorizing payment of bills.
Need a motion to pay the bills.
Offer.
Need a second?
Second.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Von Rudenberg.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Councilmember Carroll.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
I abstain. Anybody have any conflicts in the consent agenda?
No. No?
We're good? With that, go ahead.
The following items are considered to be routine in nature and will be enacted in one motion. Any items requiring expenditure are supported by a certification of availability of funds. Any item requiring discussion will be removed from the consent agenda, and consent agenda items will be reflected in full in the minutes, including any exceptions and/or additions. The consent agenda consists of Resolution 187-25, a resolution authorizing raffle licenses, Resolution 188-25, resolution authorizing a leave of absence extension for Karina Buono, Public Safety Telecommunicator, from March 30th, 2025 to June 21st, 2025. Resolution 189-25 is a resolution establishing a Hometown Heroes Military Veteran Banner Program to honor the military service of city residents. Resolution 190-25 is a resolution authorizing place-to-place liquor license transfer for Chavette Enterprises LLC for license number 0223-44025006 to be located at 380 West Pleasant View Avenue, Building A, Unit 2. Resolution 191-25 is a resolution designating the registrar, deputy registrar, and alternates for the health department. Resolution 192-25 is a resolution authorizing release of escrow funds for multiple properties. Resolution 193-25 is a resolution authorizing release of performance bond and safety/stabilization bond for 116 Essex Street. Resolution 194-25 is a resolution in support of Bergen County's Housing, Health, and Human Services Center CDBG-CV project. Application submitted to the Bergen County Division of Community Development for a new HVAC system. Resolution 195-25 is a resolution in support of Bergen County Housing, Health, and Human Services Center CDBG project application submitted to the Bergen County Division of Community Development for a roof. With that, we need a motion.
Need a vote?
Offer.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed. Okay, that went pretty quickly.
Sure.
Okay, need a motion to open to the public, please?
Offer.
All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed. Anybody from the public who'd like to speak in this session, please come forward, give your name to the clerk, and you will have 3 minutes. Good evening, ma'am. How are
Good
you?
evening. I'm Helen Russian, and I have a complaint about parking on 3rd and High Street. We have a big problem with parking because the apartment building is there, and the one that live in there, I guess they don't want to pay the second parking. So they come and take up the space on High Street. We don't have driveways, so this is where we park. So when we leave out and come back, we may not get a parking because it's all filled up. And I came to see what can you do about it. We have the school parking there and also the hospital park there. And we hope that you can do something for us.
So what I would recommend is our sticker program that we use for residents parking.
Yes,
It's a sticker that you put on your window of your car, and that
Yes.
entitles you to park there. Without it, you can't park there, in other words.
What street do you
So
live
it's
on?
3rd and High, right?
yes.
Which street are we talking about? Both of them?
On
or-
3rd, on High Street we talking
You're
about.
on High
High
Yes.
Street?
So when
We've
they can't
already-
find, when they can't find a parking on 3rd Street, because there's nothing, no meters or nothing there.
Right.
So they take up this spot, they're parking on High Street.
We've actually used this program close to you, up by, what's that street that runs? The Wolf and Stanley and some other areas over there. Same thing where they have like bus commuters park their cars there and hop on the bus, and they park there for,
Yes,
the whole
yes.
day. Similar with the hospital parking and the school parking and the apartment parking. Good news is that Hackensack Medical Center is building a 700-car parking
Wow,
garage
good. That's
to help alleviate the problem that they're causing with parking. So that's going to help alleviate some of it, but not all of it, but I think the sticker program over there. So we'll have traffic look at that and see if they can recommend doing that.
Thank you
All
very
right?
much.
Oh, you're quite welcome. Yep.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming. Next person from the public, please. Ms. Somerville?
Hi, good evening, City Council member, City Manager, Legal. So, one quick question. So I chair the Hackensack Environmental Committee, and I'm not sure if I can talk to the City Manager directly, if I need to go through the City Council in order to have the conversation.
Get the mic closer.
Can you guys hear? Okay.
Better.
So, City Manager, phenomenal budget, right? I printed it out, taking my time going through the budget, looking at it. And one of the things that I noticed is that there is no line item for the different committees and boards that serve as part of the city council. So as part of the Hackensack Environmental Commission, there is sometimes we're looking at like one, for example, was the information about the bike study, right, and bike safety. Part of that is a grant that had to be, we had to go out and actually get a grant in order for them to be able to consider as to whether or not we can look at the difference between county streets and city streets and what the remediation would look like in order for us to be able to proceed with putting in bike lanes. So is it possible then to have a conversation or understand whether or not there could be a line item budget? Now, I'm not talking about thousands of dollars, right? But at least something substantial that in case we need to look at some sort of a study, right? Some sort of an issue. We have our own line item we can go to instead of always having to depend on grants or like they did with getting the fee monies from doing the dispensaries. And then the city council donated that money to Shade Tree in order for them to go out and do
Right.
something. Could we look at that as a possibility?
Yeah, we can have that conversation. I'll bring in our CFO, Mr. Mangan, and he'll be able to tell us how we would go about doing that and assigning money within the budget for that.
Okay.
That shouldn't be a problem.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
The other thing I might recommend, Marlene, is, we decided we used the green to green theory with the cannabis money that was coming in to put it towards, some of it to the Shade Tree Commission. Obviously, the Environmental Commission also is a green feature, and maybe some of the cannabis money can go towards that to make a line item for you to work with.
Maybe we could talk to Jim, because
Yeah.
we used the first quarter money for the shade tree, and we put in a trust for them. So maybe we could do something similar with the second quarter money and
Yeah.
put some of that money to good use.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Serbo, you're up. You're speaking twice tonight. This is a rarity.
I'm urged by others to speak. It's from when we started in the work session, the whole thing about these roads and streets, and no one says a word again about Spring Valley Avenue. I don't want to go on about that, but it's actually ridiculous. It's like a little highway there, okay? It's there should be some kind of redirection. They should be going on Route 4 or something, or, and so I'll just leave it at saying, do something, that's all. Okay, that's it.
We're trying.
All right, very good. And look, other things, too. I was at the women's panel discussion what was it, last week or something? I forget. And I just thought it was kind of gratuitous that you would make an event out of it for your benefit. It seemed like it was a campaign event. Mr. LaBrosse got up. Okay, it was like almost a city council meeting almost. And so if anybody was there, you know what I mean. Yeah. Kathy
Rich,
was on.
there were 6 women there. It was Women's History Month event.
No, I
It
know.
wasn't all about me.
There was hardly any Hackensack people there. They were from all over the county. It was
Yeah,
not a
okay, how
Hackensack
do you
event.
know? How do you know
Because I know
that?
the people.
Okay, but I'm just saying that it just seemed like it was staged as a little campaign event.
Certainly wasn't campaigning, that's for sure.
Was there any
Celebrating.
talk of the election or the campaign at that? Absolutely not. It was talking about the personal lives of 6 women that had achieved a lot in their
Okay.
lives, and it was
But-
in support. There was nothing in that that
Yes.
had anything to do with the campaign or the city.
Okay,
Really
well,
wasn't.
how did you
So-
get on the panel then? I don't.
I
what
was
that
chosen
about?
as were the other women who
Okay, very good.
have accomplished things in their lives.
And Mr. LaBrosse seemed to,
Mr.
he just
LaBrosse
fit
gave the
right in.
certificates. The women got proclamations in honor of Women's History Month.
Right, and he just
And
fit
we
right into
always
that.
honor,
He fit right,
always
okay.
gives the
Yes, he
proclamations.
does.
I'm not going to argue with you. It was a
Very good.
lovely event, and I think that,
Okay.
there were many folks there that enjoyed it. I'm sorry if you didn't.
All right. Last time I saw him, too, I spoke about what we're doing with tax abatements and what that discussion is about. Is there any negotiation? And he said, oh, well, he pointed to you. He said, oh, Kathy takes care of all that, he said.
Well, she
So-
does.
So I said, okay, wonderful. What is she doing? Can she...
When he's done, we'll put them up. and we'll show
Can
you.
she
We have to talk
work
to them.
on a benefit for these developers to take a 5-year tax
So-
abatement? The first year is 20% 40%, 60%, 80%. The fifth year, it's 100%. What's wrong with that? Why are you giving away so much? Why can't you keep it, reasonable, so others in town aren't, paying the tax bill, okay? And I'm talking about homeowners. Homeowners pay for everything. And I don't know why we don't get a tax rebate. Why can't we get a tax rebate if let's say we decide to refurbish our home and spend $75,000 refurbishing our home? Do we get a tax rebate? Could we get a tax rebate? Why not?
You got 15 seconds left, but I want to explain something to you. And I
13
actually have
seconds.
actual numbers in front of me right now, which I want to.
I have the slides, so we're going to put them up with the slides. Let him finish.
No, I mean, let's say you decide, and people are not refurbishing their homes because of that, because you're going to increase the taxes with a reassessment, and there's no tax rebate. Why can't there be one for a homeowner to fix up his home, which would be sort of a development on its own, or personal development?
So before we go to the slides that we're going to show, I just want to make the statement. 12 years ago, 15 years ago, downtown Hackensack was I can't say it, what I really want to call it, it was in bad shape.
Yeah, okay.
There was 30, 40 homeless people on the street every night. Other towns actually dropped their homeless people off on Main Street, Hackensack. Businesses closed at 6 o'clock. There was no economy. There was nothing. This was a downtown that was the shining star of Bergen County before the malls came and decimated a lot of
Okay.
main streets, okay? You seem to be missing, we've gone through this a lot, Rich, the bigger picture. The revenue created by these buildings
Okay.
is.
I know you
Can
like
you
to
say-
harp on
Put up the other
that.
slide, Frank, please.
I know you like to harp on that, okay?
just-
but-
it's
No, but
just
let's
because I don't
look at
think
the
you're
dates, because we
understanding.
brought it for you tonight. So just,
okay.
your time is up.
Let me-
We have a few
I
minutes.
Let me
Let John
We
finish.
understand
the
it
data.
all, we do.
No,
No,
you don't. You don't,
I
because
don't
keep
think you
asking the same
understand.
question
Why
every week.
can't you
You
work?
would rather have, let's take,
Go over there.
let's take,
There's a couple of small ones, a couple of medium ones, and a couple of large ones. So we picked a few of each.
so let's take 150, 170 Main Street, the big building, the 15-story.
All right,
All right? When that was sitting there as an empty bank for 15, 20 years, all right? It was paying $237,000 a year in taxes.
okay.
It now pays $833,000, okay? You'd rather have this than this? Because if you didn't have this, you'd be paying more taxes.
Okay, so how are you responsible for that, though? I mean, what,
We're the ones.
yeah, how are you responsible for all this? The only reason you're responsible for it is because you gave away tax breaks.
This doesn't get done
Without tax breaks.
No, without meeting. Yeah, there's a pilot. It's not a tax break. It's a state-run pilot program and incentive.
Okay.
The point being, Rich, is why I said you'd rather have the lower number, because without the pilot program, this doesn't happen.
All right, but let's,
None of these blue lines you see happen.
okay, I understand all that, I do. But don't try to take credit for all this development, okay? Because
How do we not take credit for it, Rich? Nothing happened in this town for 30 or 40 years. There was nothing happening in this town.
You gave
until
away
we
some
introduced-
tax breaks.
There's no giving
and
away
it's-
tax, don't
it's
call it
snow-
tax breaks. It's
It's
an alternate,
snowballed,
it's an
and it's-
alternate mechanism for
It's
tax.
snowballed, and it's a race to the bottom, okay? It's what it is.
Well, the bottom- it's-
Every town around here is doing it. It's,
Everywhere.
they're building.
Because it's, you're rebuilding a city that's was an aging city, whose infrastructure was falling apart, let me finish, whose stormwater management, the buildings that were there before had no stormwater management mechanism. Every one of those buildings goes through a radical procedure. No, you asked why we're doing it? This is why we did this, Rich. We put these things in place.
All right, no
So
one's
we're
knocking.
helping
Do-
the flooding, we're helping the management of stormwater.
All right,
We're
we're on
bringing
board with
revenue
that.
into this city. That's why we're taking
We're
credit for it.
on board with that, but it's, come on, it's.
The bottom line, Rich, if you had it your way, without the abatements, we'd be paying $20 million more in taxes
I
every year.
didn't say that.
All right?
See, you say things I don't say.
But
You
you're
always
saying
do that.
these giveaways
I
you're
didn't
talking about
say,
aren't giveaways.
no, I said that the abatements are too large, and you know they are.
They are
You-
not.
Rich,
They
they're
are.
based on the economy and this is the only way they get the financing to do these projects. Without
the abatement is based on the size of the project, all right?
Right.
That's what dictates whether it's a 30 down to a 10-year project, all right?
5-year abatements are workable. They are. They're 20, 40, 60,
He's
80,
been talking
and
about this for years. He's
100%.
been talking about this for years, Jerry. Jerry would like us not to have this discussion because he feels you're running for office and we're running for office and you're turning this into a campaign
Well,
project.
he's a
So let's-
citizen that came up and
He is-
spoke. He didn't
I'm
identify
not.
himself
I'm
as a
just-
campaign person.
He didn't, but we have to respect all of our council members. If
Is
that's,
this, defer to you, is this campaigning? This is factual.
No, if you're explaining a city policy, regardless of whether Mr. Serbo is running for office or not, there's no prohibition about you explaining what the city's business is or how you're doing this at all. I certainly wouldn't say, you know, I don't think Rich should be saying you should vote for me because of X or you should vote for me because of Y, but if you're explaining why there's the need for pilots so that the public understands it, even if there's misinformation being spread as part of a political campaign, you have every right to come back and combat that misinformation so that the public knows the truth. And so I have zero legal problem
Exactly,
with you
and-
doing
all
that.
right, then I would like to present the other slide. If you would, Frank, please put the other slide up, just very quickly, and then I'll let you ask me a question if you like. This is real data, all right? So you're going to see in 2020, we only had one building that was open and leased, and we were taking in $539,000 a year at that point.
Right.
Okay? As more buildings came to be, you see, 2021, 1.5 million, 2022, 3.5 million, et cetera, et cetera. Last year, in 2024, we brought in almost $10 million in money that we would not have had should this development not happen. Now, the
Fine.
question is, if we did not bring that $10 million in, who would be paying that $10 million? You, I, and everyone else. Because this money is subtracted directly from the bottom line, which you can see if you're curious, go online and look at the budget, and you'll see it's subtracted right off the bottom line. Now, without adding anything new to the pilot, to the pot, everyone that is in process now, we do 1, 3, 5-year planning here in the city. That's how we operate. And if you look at the 1, 3, 5-year plans, in 5 years, that 10 million with the buildings that are in process of being built will be close to $20 million. Look at the sidelines. Right now in 2024, without pilots alone, an average home that's assessed at $321,000 would be paying an additional.
We get it.
No, you don't.
Yes,
Let
we
me
do.
finish. $467 a year more in taxes. We get an additional $4 million a year.
We get
from
it.
The medical
You just like
center
to hear
based
yourself
on- No,
speak
based
about
on
it.
growth.
You do.
That would be $664 a year that each person that had an average home of $321,000 would be paying. Those are the facts. And that is the data that can be backed up by the city and cannot be disputed, Rich. So you can say all you like about these things. This is helping our taxpayers and beautifying our city, as the mayor said. Now, if you have a question for me, I'll be happy to answer.
Yeah, okay. What about tax abatements for homeowners? Why not? Why can't we refurbish our homes
If you're going to
without
pay
getting
more,
killed?
they're all paying more. They're all paying more. If you want to pay more, they were paying, what did you say, John, 200,000, it went to 800,000. If you'd like to quadruple what you're paying, sure, we'll take that abatement.
I just want to also point out that, you know, because it is important to point out that the abatement programs, the pilot programs, they're all established by statute, by state law. If you believe that there should be a program to that effect, the person you should be speaking to is Gordon Johnson and your assembly people and the Senate President and the Governor of New Jersey. So, you know, they can't create programs that the state law does not provide for, so you understand.
All right, no, it's okay. Thank you. I just think you're riding this wave, okay?
We're trying to
It's-
just educate you, Rich. I'm
is a
sorry,
wave.
but we have to educate you. That's all we're trying to do here. And the public, if anyone's interested. You want to give one to Rich?
Would you
Would you
like
like a
this?
copy?
Yeah, okay, I want one. Yeah, sure.
Yes? or-
Yes,
Okay.
I want one.
And this is all available on the city website.
All right, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay, that's it.
Nobody
Nobody else?
Nobody else from the public? Motion to close to the public?
Offer.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye,
Aye.
none opposed? Councilwoman Von Rudenberg.
Sure. Thank you, everyone, for coming out. As the city manager mentioned earlier, opening day for baseball and softball of Hackensack is April 19th at Fashini Park. If you're around, come out and support our young athletes. Thank you to Allison. I know the deputy mayor and the city manager mentioned it earlier, but thank you to Allison for all her hard work on the veteran banner. This started probably, what, two years ago, at least 2 years ago, trying to get this off the ground, and there was a lot of bumps in the way, and Allison did a lot of research with the other towns and what they're doing, and then to hear that it wasn't being allowed anymore by PSCNG was really disappointing. So thinking quickly, using our poles and our light poles to get everything done was the way to go, and I think it's a great way to honor all of our veterans. They should definitely always be in the forefront. It's nice when you go to other towns and you see all the veterans up there and their service, so we want to do the same in Hackensack, and we appreciate your help, Allison. And again, Rec Desk is where you would go for registering for one. If you're not familiar at Rec Desk, I guess they could reach out to the Recreation Department and find out how to get to that. Awesome, okay, so some people might prefer hard copies, just so everyone has access to it. Today we had our monthly meeting with the Hackensack Board of Ed, and of course, the discussion with the new school came up, and, as a parent of three children in the schools, it's imperative that we get this done. We discussed all the logistics, we've, worked with the prior board members, and, the new board members are here, then they did the study and looking at different things, and I really hope this moves forward, because I think this is a great, probably the best opportunity they're gonna have to have a new school, and it's very much needed. So, again, I just hope this all works out. I won't be here in a couple months, but, for the kids of Hackensack, this needs to get done. In regards to, what else? What was that? The proclamations tonight, thanks to Della, and Deb and Allison. It was a really nice honor to be honored for Women's History Month, and I know the wrestlers really appreciated being honored. Wrestling is a tough sport, and those kids really work hard, all three of them. And again, I'm lucky to work alongside such wonderful women. Deputy Mayor has been a great mentor to me, for all women who are in government or are aspiring to be in government. She's really taught me to, it's not easy to make everybody happy. You just have to kind of get over that and try your best. So I appreciate that. She's been a wonderful mentor along the way, and to Deb and Allison and Della and everyone else that I've had the honor of working alongside, great role models as women working in government. So appreciate it. To everyone, have a happy Easter, happy Passover, and that's it. See you next meeting.
Thanks, Steph. We're all really going to miss her. We're glad we have her for a few more months, but, she's been a real valuable contribution to the city and a great part of our team, so we'll really miss you, Steph. And, the rest of us, we love to acknowledge those that achieve, our young folks that achieve both academically in the arts world and in sports, because it's important for the young folks to get that recognition, and they, it's something that they feel good about, and they're going to work even harder because they see, hey, hard work pays off. Look, I put in a lot of effort, and look what I achieved. I know that we also invited the track team, but I guess Deb and Allison, they couldn't make it tonight, but
Well, when you first suggested it, they were like on number 1 of their awards, and now I think they're up to like number 5. So there was a lot of stuff that the coach had to get together, plus they had tournament or something in between, a competition in between. So,
they're busy bees.
yeah, so we're hoping for the next meeting, if not, probably the first one in May.
I just want folks, the high school.
Yes, that because they had one, and then they went on further and one again, and then there was other ones that set records, and then that overset record. It was a
they
big,
have, like,
long
finals and
email
stuff,
to them.
yeah.
We just don't want folks to think we overlooked them, and, they will be coming. They were invited to be here tonight as well. I like to usually talk about if there's anything on here that pertains to work that I'm doing, anything to do with redevelopment, and there was just one item on here tonight, the 321 Main Street development. That's the one that's on the corner of Main and Berry. They really are just opening. Actually, they had an additional piece of property that was at 307 Main, and at one point they were going to include it in that development, and they've since changed their mind and decided they're not going to include it in their development. So this particular resolution tonight just said we're omitting that piece of property, and they will come up with other plans for it. So it was basically just a simple resolution. I agree with Steph. We had, I think, another good meeting with the Board of Ed. You know, the new members are trying to come up to speed. We've been working to get a new school done with the Board of Ed for the past 8 or 10 years, and we're still offering to pay for land and help them in any way we can. And, you know, they're still trying to figure out what they really want, and we're trying to help them in that initiative, and I hope it gets accomplished soon. Just so folks know, we also talked about a few other things. You know, there are issues with residency, you know, the number of students, and are they all really Hackensack people? You know, are they really living in Hackensack, all of the students that we have? And there's ways that you can do kind of a broad stroke of residency checking by using some other companies that will actually only get paid should they find folks that really shouldn't be in our schools. So we talked, and we had talked to other board members about this in the past, and it's kind of didn't take off. So we just brought that up and asked if they would look into that again. And we are having, you know, always have had traffic issues with pickup and drop-offs in our town. Folks that live near the schools, you know, in the mornings and then in the afternoons, you know, folks are parking, they're actually leaving cars in the middle of the street to pick up their children. And, you know, other towns have successful drop-off and pickups where you don't have to get out of your car. They told us they're trying just a drop-off at Fairmount School.
Yep.
So we're hoping, I think, if we could work together with them and get that accomplished, that would alleviate a lot of those traffic issues and parking issues. People have come and told us that they're actually parking their cars in their driveway to walk their children to school, and then they have to go out and get to work, and they can't get their cars out of their driveways. So we really have to work together as a city and a school to try and clean up some of that. So it was a good meeting, and I think talked about topics that were very apropos. I also wish everyone to enjoy their holiday, whatever it is that they celebrate, Passover, Easter. Let's hope the weather warms up, right, for the Easter egg hunt for the kids. When is that? Vinny, do we announce that?
Easter egg hunt is April 15th.
April 15th. So let's hope, tax day?
Tax day.
So let's hope we have some nice weather for the children, and you know the city does that at Johnson Park, right? Still at Johnson Park. And enjoy your night, the rest of your night, and enjoy your week coming. Thank you.
Leo?
Congratulations again to the boys and girls that participate in the sport of wrestling. My father used to wrestle in high school. And you hear about we're going to start the paving program for 225. And for the kids, they practice the wrestling sport. Like the mayor said, we're going to have in the new sport zone, we're going to have an area for wrestling. And enjoy your holidays. Thank you for coming.
Jer?
Congratulations to the wrestlers and to Stephanie this evening. I would like to thank everyone who has attended this meeting physically and remotely. Take care, and God bless.
Thank you, Jer. Okay. So we mentioned the Easter egg hunt. The Veterans Banner Program was mentioned. Opening day of baseball coming up. It's 19th, April 19th. Okay. It's a great day to come out and watch the kids. As we announce the teams, it's always fun. I don't know if I'll be able to throw this year. I know you ain't gonna be able to catch.
I catch. I throw.
Who did it last year? I did it, right?
Yeah,
I caught,
yes,
I
Steph.
caught though, right?
I got a catcher. I could still reach over,
Okay.
especially on the small field.
It's her last year, Lenore.
Yes.
Let's let Steffi do it.
All right,
Come on.
would you
She can throw
first?
and
I'm gonna
catch.
throw
Let
a
her do
fastball.
it.
She can throw and
She
catch.
can throw and
She could
catch,
do it
just
all.
like Bugs Bunny.
Yeah. Congrats to our wrestlers. Special night for me. I spoke with the one coach, and because I really want to do something for Butch Potato and John D'Elia, who I coached with for all those years, and to recognize them for. And what I really want to do is get the junior wrestlers here from decades ago,
Yeah.
who are now young men,
Yep.
and it's always exciting to see those guys again. So, congratulations to Steph. Thank you for all you've done for the city. It's been a pleasure. I know you're not out the door
Not
yet,
yet.
but,
Not yet.
we're not rushing you out, but best of luck in whatever you do. Happy Easter and happy Passover to everybody, and get home safely. And as you heard tonight, we had a lot of issues, a lot of traffic issues in town with speeders and crazy drivers and pedestrian issues, and we've been working pretty hard on it, but we're a city, so there's a lot going on in here, and it's a combination of a lot of things. you know, one of the things I realize when people talk about traffic in Hackensack, some of it's self-created, but, you know, one of the things we talk about Hackensack being so great, it's right between all the major highways, whereby you got 4, you got 17, you got 46, you got 80. Well, guess what? They all drop off in Hackensack, right? So you get all these people getting off the highways, going through our towns and in Bergen County, and it's painful sometimes, especially Polyfly Road in 80. One of the worst roads I've seen isn't even in Hackensack. You go by Maywood Avenue where 17 drops off
Yeah.
from
Pleasant Ave.
17.
Yeah. Going towards Pleasant Ave.
It goes all the way from Essex Street to Passaic Street backed up.
Terrible.
So it's traffic in this area of Bergen County is pretty bad. But you know what? You drive up to Paramus on a Friday night at 4 o'clock. You know, it'd take you 45 minutes to get up to Mawa. So there's a lot of traffic in Bergen County. A lot of that is because our mass transit in Bergen County is horrible, right? We should have more trains, we should have, sorry to say this, Rich, more buses. You know,
Just let them be
more,
full.
more
Let them
people,
be full, according
more
to
people
Rich.
using mass transit means less cars on the highways and streets. So, you know, it's a no-brainer. God bless you. We just can't seem to accomplish it, but maybe someday we'll get there. So everybody have a great night, have a happy Easter, happy Passover. Take care. Motion to close the meeting.
Offer.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
None opposed?